Linné was the intro to Lahai Roy who got you situated and familiar with everything. Mornier was a lore bomb that randomly dropped and gave more meaning anytime you looked up. And now with the new cinematic short, you find out that Aemeath is literally the driving force of 3.1 that was planned from the start. Everything they're doing is in a way to keep you immersed. And if you don't feel immersed because you look at your account and you look at the amount of ashtrays that you have and you realize you can't get these characters, you can't afford them, then you might as well use LD Shop. Cue the ad. A website where you can get your game's currency at a discount, like Wuthering Waves at an incredible 15% off. It's actually really easy too, and it makes topping up much more affordable. Like in Wuthering Waves, they have a deal where if you want to get a character like Augusta, you can get the bundle that lets you guarantee her. By the way, with this website, you can get a top-up that's about $100 for literally $77. Like, why wouldn't you do that? All you gotta do is head to the website using my link, which also gives you a 5% coupon, allowing you to save up to $50. Click the game you want to top up for, enter your UID and server, or just follow the instructions on the website to log in, confirm your order, follow through with checking out, and you got your order within minutes. It's super fast, really easy, and extremely convenient because it's way faster than topping up within the game. It's also extremely safe and reliable, and many people use it. And if it's your first time using it, there's a 15% discount for newcomers, so it's a perfect time to start using it. On top of that, if you spend $80, you get a free game pass, which can be claimed in the homepage. They also have other games like Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact, and Zenless Zone Zero, and I'm pretty sure they'll have more in the future, so you can just start using it for the game that you want to play. Thank you, LD Shop, for sponsoring this video. And you're gonna need it after that cinematic short dropped. Because if you didn't care about Aemeath with the fucking leak bomb that Geoff dropped randomly out of nowhere, now you're gonna care about Aemeath because of the lore bomb that Kuro Games dropped out of nowhere. Because now they're learning even more ways to cook these characters into your hearts. Because if you didn't notice, the cinematic short that they just dropped was a precursor to the Azur cinematic short that they dropped before 3.0 even came out. So they had this shit planned from the very beginning. So now whenever companies like Hoyoverse are saying things like, oh yeah, we plan our patches a year in advance, sometimes even a year and a half. Honestly, we had Genshin Impact planned from the beginning. Now I believe that Kuro Games is probably taking the exact steps that Genshin Impact was taking because it seems like they had everything planned from the very beginning. So now I'm gonna make this comparison and I need you guys to bear with me. I know y'all are gonna say extreme cope. I know you're gonna say cope. It's not cope, but just bear with me. They're kind of going the route of Attack on Titan. I'm not saying the story is as good as Attack on Titan because it's not. All right, Attack on Titan is a fucking masterpiece. But the fact that they're planting seeds for 3.0 before 3.0 even drops, because they already know what's gonna go on with the story, it's just a little bit reminiscent, at least for the marketing, it's just a little bit reminiscent of how Attack on Titan worked out. I'm not gonna spoil it, but everything was quite literally planned from the start. The first scene is very important for the very last scene. So obviously it's not that intricate, but the fact that they're doing something like this where the cinematic short that even came out before 3.0 dropped is tying into another cinematic short that comes out before 3.1 drops, it makes me wonder what's gonna happen throughout all of 3.1. And I think this is great, and I know people are gonna be like, yo, you gotta stop comparing this fucking game to Genshin Impact. I'm not gonna stop comparing this game to Genshin Impact because comparison is very important, and the competition that comes with comparison is why the game is thriving in the first place. So I'm not gonna stop comparing it. If you don't like the comparison, click the fuck off the video. But if you're okay with it, the one thing I wanted to go over is that I did believe the lore in Genshin Impact was probably a lot more intricate than the lore in Wuthering Waves. And now it feels like Kuro Games is trying to catch up in that front. I think the one thing, at least right now, that Genshin Impact does have over Wuthering Waves is that they teased a lot of characters in the beginning of the game like 5 years ago that they're like dropping back to back to back right now, and that's why people are very hyped for a lot of these characters like Columbina, and then a character like Varka, who was also very teased very far in the past. All of these characters coming out are making these people be like, I need to get this character because I've been waiting for this character. Kuro Games took a different approach with Wuthering Waves where they're like, we're gonna announce a character immediately and try to get you to care about the character as much as you can as soon soon as possible. We're not gonna do none of this. Oh yeah, you see that character that was like, you know, in 1.0? Now that we're in 4.0, you can get him now. And the thing on top of that is that they still do have characters that were important in like 1.0. Like for example, Scar. Scar's gonna be a character at some point. I don't give a fuck if people think he's gonna die 100 times. He's gonna come back to life and he's gonna be a character at some point, guaranteed, no matter what. I don't know when. It might be in 5.0. And when he do, he better not be after another character like Aemeath, because they doing these male characters dirty. But whenever he do, he gonna be crazy and people gonna want to get him because the lore behind him is gonna be even more insane whenever he comes out. But even right now, like a character that they just released is Morinye out of nowhere. They just dropped a cinematic trailer that was super lore heavy, literally showed her that she created the skies of Lahai Roy and gave the skies of Lahai Roy meaning. So anytime you look up and you see the skies of Lahai Roy, it's because of Morinye. And now we're not even at the point where we know what's gonna happen in 3.1 yet. We don't even know what they're gonna show on the live stream, but they're putting out a cinematic short of Aemeath to show you how important and how integral she's gonna be in the story, showing you how important she is for the Extra Strider, giving you reasons why people aren't able to see her, giving you everything that she was going through that caused people to not be able to see her. And we're not even at the point where we're at 3.1 yet. So yes, it's marketing, but at the same time, it's important for the story. And I feel like this is also the whole point, which I'm also kind of worried about, because the cinematic short seems like it's really important to the story. Some of these cinematic shorts seem very important to the story. So if they're gonna put these on YouTube, I hope they also put them in the game, because that was very important for the game. Like, I guess you don't really need to know the lore, but if you know the lore, it'll make you care like infinitely more. And I feel like that's also one of the things that's pretty unfortunate for these cinematic shorts and the cinematic trailers for the characters, the legendary showcases, because a lot of them have really good animation, really good lore behind them, and it feels like they should just be animations or cutscenes that are in the game at some point, but they're not in the game at any point. Most of them aren't in the game at any point, so it's pretty unfortunate. Like the Cartethia cinematic trailer, which was honestly just as good as this cinematic short, like it was just as inspirational. If they put that shit in the game at some point, people need to see that. And I'm pretty sure everybody that plays the game isn't subscribed to YouTube or on Twitter. They're just playing the game and don't even know about all the other stuff, that all the other media that goes online. They're not gonna see that shit. I feel like that shit should be in the game. And I think this is really important, because the way that they showed Aemeath cinematic short is very similar to the same way and the same kind of storytelling that they did for Cartethia cinematic short, which was honestly the best short that is still out there in my opinion right now. It was the most inspirational, best story told short to this day by Wuthering Waves. Even the end, the little comic styled animation that they put that gave the character even more importance was pretty much the exact same. So you know that this character is going to be just as important as Cartethia. And if you played 2.0, you already know how important Cartethia was. Literally the focal point of the entire story for 2.0. Like quite literally, she was the entire point of 2.0. So now we're gonna know that Aemeath is the focal point of 3.0, and we're not even halfway through the version yet. We're barely halfway through 3.0. We're not even at 3.1, and it's probably gonna last 8 patches. So this is probably going to be a really heavy story at this point if they're already ramping shit up this fast at this point. But I still think this is honestly great, because they had the combat, they had the characters, they had the design, they got the storytelling back in 2.0, and now they're having the lore coming through, which is like potentially the final piece of the puzzle for this game to basically be a masterpiece. And it makes sense because Arknights Endfield is coming out. It's a super lore heavy game. Already a super lore heavy game. Azur Promilia is coming out, and Azur Lane has been a game for a long time, so you know they got a lot of lore. Genshin Impact has been known for the lore. Most people still play the game specifically because of the lore. So it's the main front that Wuthering Waves has to catch up on. And now it seems like with this cinematic short and the way that they're introducing characters like Morinye and Aemeath, and I gotta see what's gonna happen with Luke. And now I wanna know how they integrate Lucy from the Cyberpunk collab, because if they integrate Lucy from the Cyberpunk collab to make it be like they actually matter in the story, not like how they did with the Fate collab where it's some tournament arc, but like actually matters in the story, and they actually interact with Aemeath in the way that actually matters in the story, cinema. So that's it. That cinematic sword was fucking insane. That mech battle was fucking wild, and everything that came afterwards, all the fact that she actually fused with the mech, and that's the reason that made it to where nobody can see her. And then afterwards you realize that Rover is the only one who can see her, obviously, because I'm that motherfucker god. I think we're getting to a point where the story will actually be a reason why you want to play the game, not just because the storytelling is amazing, but because the story itself is actually immersive and interesting, and you want to see what the fuck is going on. So I want to find out what the fuck is going on, and I need to find out what the fuck is going on. What the fuck is going on, Kuro Games? What the fuck are y'all doing in that office? Are y'all smoking crack? I need whatever y'all smoking. Also, I need to be in that university, because